picking up on the thing, first of all, about fear, I think that's a very important thing to address. And why have we ended up where we are? Because I'll freely admit, yes, I was a little frightened. Coming into this was a new experience for me. My background would have been in traditional religious communities. I've lived in small communities, I've lived in large communities, I've lived on my own for a short while as well. But I've never lived with what I might call unknown outsiders. Anyone I've lived with in the past have always been very respectable sort of people, and now suddenly refugees, asylum seekers. So as I mentioned, I did come with a lot of apprehension and anxiety about how would it be, both practically and in terms of maybe personal space, that sort of thing. But what I've found is that it is a genuine joy to live in this house with these people. They come with all sorts of issues and challenges, of course, language, cultural. Their anxieties and past experiences have often been very traumatic and difficult for them. And yet what I found is that universally they've been very respectful of us and who we are, and very grateful for anything that we are providing to them. We have had some problems, yes, that would be dishonest to say we haven't. I don't think we've counted the number we've had since we started, which is about 18 months ago. Most are only with us for a short time. And the majority have been absolutely no problem whatsoever. We've had one or two, I think particularly where there might have been mental health problems involved as well. And one in particular we had some problems with. He was the only one that we really had to ask to leave. Yeah. So we can go into a lot more detail, but basically the way they come to us is we don't just take people off the streets randomly. We always have a referral from somebody like the Red Cross, a solicitor, or another charity that's dealing with people. We always get references on them, and there's a short questionnaire which we ask to be filled in, to give an indication of who they are, where they're from. Do you want to say something about that? Your area?
Yeah. So yes, as John was saying, all our guests come through another organisation. We went to a meeting earlier on when we were here. There's a destitution network in Birmingham, people working with destitute asylum seekers on the whole. But people from that network, and they all know each other already. One of the things is because we're not full-time, we're not here full-time, like looking after a whole load of guests. We've got other things to do. We can't deal with what in housing world they call high support needs. So we don't take people with drug or alcohol addiction, certainly people active, or serious mental health problems. So the one man we did have to ask to leave had mental health problems. We took a bit of a risk taking him in. I knew it was a risk and it didn't work out. And that was difficult. And probably it was a mistake to take him in. So we kind of filter it in that sense that part of the thing with the referral form is that we get that information from the people. And we go and meet them at the place on the whole where they've been referred from first, so that we can meet them and talk with them and tell them about the nature of the house and check out that they're happy with that, we're happy with them, and we're okay. And I think the first or the second person we ever met, actually, I started to say to him, well, we're trying to live communally as a family and share the cooking. And he was like, oh no, I'm not doing that. And we started arguing. So I was like, hang on a minute. He's like, we only just met him, we're trying to help him, and he's supposed to be desperate, and you're already arguing with us. This isn't a good sign. So I said, sorry mate, this isn't going to work.
Well, we started, I think, with an approach to the Archbishop. Obviously for formal reasons you have to get permission from the Archbishop, and he was very, very welcoming to us and very gracious, and from there we were given certain contacts that we were able to start to follow. But again, I think I was very fortunate that Martin had a lot of experience in this field, and we were able to sort of make approaches to various parties, and that was how we
I can't remember the exact order of things, but I knew a few people in Birmingham. This Ray Collier, this Columban that I mentioned already before with Cam. And I'd like to went to the Archbishop. And one of the key things I think was also, well, for example, there's a big refugee centre Catholic-run refugee centre in town. Sister Margaret Walsh that runs that started that. She's so well known in the diocese. Everybody says, "Oh, have you met Sister Margaret Walsh?" And if you've met, I'm not sure if she was the one who gave us the information, but even if nobody else had, she would have done. So we try and we say to them, like, we're trying to live communally, kind of as a family. It's a bit looser than that, probably. And it's a bit of I think different people come at different, in terms of running a house like this, different people would be at a bit different points on the spectrum, perhaps. But the hospitality side of it is, I think.
Yeah, it's one of so yes, it is. It's a safe place to live. It's a roof over their heads, food on the table. We do try and add a little more than that. Martin's right in terms of trying to bring some sort of often isolation and loneliness as part of the experience of being a refugee and asylum seeker. So we offer some fellowship and life in common, but on a very gentle basis, of really gathering around the evening meal and inviting people to gather around the evening meal. We're very careful to point out when we meet people that though we are Catholic priests, we're not expecting anybody to either become a Catholic or sit in with our prayers or have any religious views whatsoever. We're open to people of all faiths and no faiths, so we have to sort of make that known early on. But what we do say is, we try and gather together for a bit of a social life together, because that's a human need. And so we might not be able to advise with technical things, legal matters, but we can sort of provide a little bit of human warmth and companionship. And as Martin says, some of them love that and really enjoy it, and some of them are very shy, and we have to sort of encourage them a little bit. So
they just have their own social life. They're too busy,
Yeah, off down to the cafe to watch the football, that sort of thing.
Yes.
In some sense, people always seem to get money from somewhere. Back in London, my experience in London was the guests they didn't always have credit on their phone. It might run out, but they always somehow, we do help them. I mean, obviously we've got more money than they had a Catholic worker, so we can afford to help them a bit more, and we do. Having said that, for example, in Birmingham, there's a destitution fund run by Hope Project, I mentioned earlier. So if someone is in the process of working on a new application, they can get £20 a week from that fund for a year, up to a total of 12 months. And a lot of some of our guests, quite a proportion of our guests have been getting that money actually. Others have local contacts and local friends that they never ask us for money, but they're not. Some of them might be working in the black economy, informal economy, that's possible. Others have got friends that will give them some money, or the community side of things. I mean, when we are very grateful for the way it worked out last year actually. Last summer I had someone that I've known as a Catholic worker who came for a couple of months as a volunteer and lived with us. Subsequently we had a guest from the London Catholic worker who came for a couple of months, so I knew him for 2 years already. He was a very good guy, be around good English, which makes a difference. And then we had another volunteer came for another couple of months, so that was all last year. And I do think if there was 3 of us, that community side of things, both our own community, but also the community with the guests, would be a lot better.
Ideal.
Because in a sense, you need at least 2 people to create a community into which you're welcoming your guests. Rather than trying to create community solely with them. If it was just one person, one person can't be a community, can they? 2 people isn't really enough either, but it's something, a relationship exists into which you welcome your guests. If there's 3 of you, that would be even better. And if one person goes away, you've still got,
I suppose we try to make the house as open and welcome as we possibly can for all the guests who are here. We each have our own separate bedroom, and that's obviously private space. So, but in terms of the rest of the house, the room we're sat in now doubles up. It's a multi-purpose space. So you're also sat in our chapel. You didn't realise that, but you are now also sat in our chapel. And I suppose the only sort of particular boundary we would set, and it's not an exclusive thing, it's just more to advise them what we're doing at certain times is that we have times of prayer, and the men of the house are aware that during those times that's what's going on in here. And one or two of them occasionally haven't been known to join us. Generally, they choose not to do so. So that would be one boundary that we have. I think another, it's not through our doing, but they often don't join us for social time. They're often off doing things of their own. So we will be in here in the evening, maybe having a conversation, watching something on the television, whatever it might be. And we do say anybody who wants to come in, you're very welcome. Martin's got a great collection of CDs that he's bought from the local charity shop. DVDs. Yeah. And we were just saying, have you seen the latest James Bond film yesterday? So one or two might come in when we've got an exciting, action-packed film to put on. But generally speaking, that's their choice rather than anything in terms of our creating a boundary. So I think, we try to be as open as we possibly can, but there are boundaries which you need to have. We would also have times when we're meeting and we're discussing province stuff or house stuff. I would have to say to them whether the room's needed now for the next hours, which is
all right now.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, in general terms, like one thing is, I work with what I call domestic homeless people, quite chaotic, and don't understand about boundaries. I guess they're not like that. They're very respectful of boundaries on the whole. So you don't. If anything, I find the problem's the other way around. Like they hardly ever use this room, even when we're not here, because it's like,
That's there.
they'd rather be in their own rooms. Partly everybody's got smartphones these days. They might be watching something on their phone or whatever.
Yes.
And there's also a language thing. Like, so even if the two of us having a conversation, it might be hard for them to join in. We have to make an effort for them to join in. It's very easy to exclude them without being aware of it.
It's doable.
It's doable.
We're here. We've been doing it for 18 months and it's going very well.
Like you say, we've got connections with the local organisations. We got some referral made up based on somebody else's referral form, made up a simple referral form, sent that out by email normally to other organisations, met them, they referred people, we went and met the people, we decided whether or not to take them, we took them, they came.
I think another important thing which we haven't said yet is that we did it gradually. So we moved in first of all and had a little time when we were just here on our own, getting used to being with each other. And then we had one, and then we had two, and then we had three. So we didn't suddenly fill up all at one go and find ourselves overwhelmed. And I think an important part of that is that if you bring in one or two first and then they get used to you and you get used to them, the ones who follow are coming into an existing culture, if I can use the word, a pattern of living, a way of doing things. And it becomes easier then because they just see how everybody else is doing things and fit in with it. So I think there's good wisdom in that. So now that the numbers are larger, it's been a process to get to larger numbers. So what I would suggest is maybe that would be a good thing to consider as well. A gradual process. And it helps people to get into the thing altogether.